Are we ready?
Mhm.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wine with Wita. On this amazing episode, I'm joined by Kelly Elfalak, who has a child with autism, but we can all remember that time in COVID when a gorgeous young boy went missing. And I'm Kelly, when I remember at that time, I was feeling really anxious and all I did was pray. And when we found him, it was a true miracle. Now, today on the episode, I'll be talking to Kelly about her journey with her son's diagnosis of autism, the challenges that she faces, the hardship, but also the wonders of autism that she has discovered along the way. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Lovely to see your beautiful face today.
You too, Rita. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Now, a few weeks ago, we connected, and I just admired your story through Help You Cope, Jolene, but also through Charlie Bacos, who just spoke with you about your AJ, your son, who went missing in COVID. And we obviously know each other from the area that we live in. And it's funny because when we met, we said, let's have a coffee. And I just thought it's just an hour's conversation, then which led to lunch, which led to more coffee. And it was a scheduled 1 hour appointment that left to a 4 hour catch up, which I thought was really special.
It was. I just felt like I've known you for so long. It just kept on
Yeah.
going, didn't it? Yeah.
It did. And we just discussed all the things that we'll discuss here on the podcast. So to start off, talk to me about you, your gorgeous family, and your child, AJ.
I have 4 boys, and AJ is my youngest son. I do have 2 boys on the spectrum. Um, AJ is level 3, and he was diagnosed in May of 2021, so not long before lockdown.
Mm.
And
And
yeah,
your other son that has autism?
yes, his name is Alexander. He's
Mhm.
8 years old. Um, he's doing really well. Um, they're both in a support unit at a mainstream school,
Mhm.
and I'm so thankful for that school. They go over and beyond. They've improved so much. I've seen they're thriving, and yeah, so 4 boys, and my younger 2 are on the spectrum.
So let's talk about AJ, your youngest. Was he diagnosed first or was Alex diagnosed first?
No, Alexander was diagnosed first.
Okay, so in terms of the levels, is Alex a level 1 or level 2?
Yeah, he's between a 1 and a 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And for those that are listening, so autism, there's a range of levels that we discuss. So level 1, obviously the needs are not as significant as say level 3. Now level
Mhm.
3, I feel that they are not they're having difficulty communicating, having their needs met, and so as a result, their needs are much higher. Now, I
Right.
think the purpose of the conversation today, let's talk about your AJ, your youngest, and we can also discuss how you coped with Alexander's diagnosis, especially because AJ's needs are more apparent than
Yes.
Alexander's. So talk to me through, I guess, when you're raising your children, you start to notice these characteristics where you think, I'll just put it to the side. I'll leave that till later until someone else raises it to your attention. What did you do at that point?
I'll start. This started with Alexander. Um, when I first saw signs, I was in denial for a long time, and I had many people close to me, doctors and friends, just telling me he's a boy, he's fine, he's just delayed. Um, Girls are
What
smarter.
signs did you notice? Sorry to cut you off. What characteristics did you start to think, something's just not right?
Um, he was delayed in his speech, and he was stimming. I didn't know what that was. I just thought that was normal. But then I thought, no, there's something not right there. He's just spinning around all the time. And, he's on the iPad or the phone, and he's repeating everything forward, rewind. So that repetitiveness.
Mm.
And I went to one pediatrician and he said to me, he's just a boy, he's fine, he's just delayed. So I said, okay. Then I got a second opinion, and he said that he's on the spectrum. He won't be able to talk. He'll be in nappies all his life. Um, but he's come a long way. He's doing amazing. He reads and he writes, and he's doing so well in class. His speech has come such a long way. We have conversations all the time. He started talking at around 5.5 years old, and
Mhm.
it's just getting better and better.
Oh, that's gorgeous to hear. Isn't it quite interesting, though, that when you had that gut instinct that something's not right, one pediatrician tells you he's just a boy, it's just delay, put your
Mm.
concern to the side. But then on the contrary, the other pediatrician said he won't be able to talk, he's still in nappies, and then he gave her that diagnosis. As a parent, how did you feel between the misinformation that you were given and how did you seek information to get more clarity?
Um, it was mentally, it was so hard. I just wasn't sure. I'm like, this doctor, he's saying one thing, the other's saying another. I can see signs, don't know what to do. So I just done my own research. I spoke to a few parents which have children on the spectrum, and that
Mhm.
helped a lot because that made me realize that my son is autistic.
Mm.
And um, I was in denial for a long time though. It was hard to accept,
Yeah,
especially
talk to me through that.
others. Um, didn't have a diagnosis, everything was fine. And then, life was okay. I mean, you get your hard moments. I had
Mm.
3 children under 3. And then when I had the diagnosis and I sat myself down and I said, you need to work on your son, stop being in denial. It's not fair on him or me or the family. It was hard. It was hard to.
Mm.
It took a
Mm.
while, I'll be honest. It took a long time. But then I got myself into gear and I got him the help that he needed, his therapy. I got him into the right school. I done what I had to do at home. And then when AJ came along, I saw the signs straight away. I watched him like a hawk.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I
I can just imagine, like, 'cause you're comparing
step,
because you want to pick up early.
yeah. And I was in denial at first too. I'm like, no, it can't be. He can't be on the spectrum. I can't have another child that's autistic. I
Mm.
can't do this. And then 24/7, I would just watch everything that he was doing. And I was like, oh no, he's fine. I can't say that. His brother wasn't doing that, so that's fine. But then time went along and he would stim, he would like do the hand clapping and the spinning, and he wasn't talking, he wasn't even babbling. Um,
Mm.
and I was like, look, he's definitely on the spectrum. I didn't leave it for long. I went straight to the pediatrician. I said, I can see all these signs. My son is on the spectrum. I'm not waiting
Mm.
any longer. I need to get his therapies and everything sorted. And that's what I done.
How old was AJ when he was diagnosed?
He was 3.
It was 3. And Alex?
Alexander was 2.5.
Okay, when he was diagnosed.
I did, I was in denial as well with AJ, but
Mm.
finally got that diagnosis at 3.
Talk to me through the denial. What was going through your mind? It was surely it's not autism. It could just be the way that they are. How did you cope with that, and what sources did you access to help with your acceptance of the autism diagnosis?
It was so hard to accept. I just, you just think about negative thoughts were just coming into my mind.
Mm.
Um, And that's why it was hard. I found it so hard. I just thought long term, oh, what if he doesn't talk? He's always in nappies. And then my other boys, what do I do? How do I balance life? And then once I got that diagnosis, it was a lot easier. I
Mm.
just this weight came off my shoulders. I was like, finally, I've got that. I can just get him the help that he needs. And then the things that made me just go through it was just speaking to other parents and
Yeah,
then
the support. Mm.
and my faith. I just said, God gives you what you can handle. And I said, obviously God thinks I can handle this. I have to accept this. I love my children endlessly, all of them. They're my life, they're my soul, they're my world. I will do anything for them. And they're my babies. I need to
Mm.
do my best. Yeah.
Kelly, this is gorgeous. Thank you for this. You're such a true warrior and advocate for your children, and also you mentioned the denial, and I'm assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Culturally, coming
Yeah.
from a Middle Eastern background, I can just sense the stigma that's associated with a child that's autistic, and
Hmm.
trying to navigate that toxic energy as well as
Yes,
trying to be a mum and balancing that. You feel quite isolated and alone.
I
How did you
was.
deal Yeah, how did you deal with all that noise, if that's what we wanna call it,
Yeah.
but also try to support your children as best that they can and access the services that they need?
At first, it broke me because, like you said, with our culture, they don't like to accept things like this at all. It could be
Mm,
anything. They think it's a shameful. Don't talk about it. Don't tell anyone. But I'm very blessed that my family supports us with everything.
mm,
They were never in denial. They supported me from day one. They still support me with everything. But I did have friends and other people around me that I could sense it from them, that probably thought it's not normal. I can't have him around my kids. We don't get along. So I just distanced myself from them because it did break my heart. But then I had to stay strong, and my
mm.
kids first. If you don't like it, you're not in my life. But there is a big stigma, and there still is. Sorry, I'm getting choked. I don't know why. Uh,
Do you need a
now,
break?
till now, I had a friend telling me that um, he has two friends that both have autistic boys, and they don't know. They're ashamed to tell each other. So instead of saying we can help each other, they're just ashamed. They won't tell.
Mm.
They don't know. Their
It's so
friends.
heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking to hear because obviously there's a stigma associated, and you mentioned that word normal. In
Yeah.
my mind, I'm thinking, what is normal? There's nothing that's just defined as normal, but rather what's typical, right? And coming from Middle Eastern background, I'm sure not only Middle Eastern background, but from many other cultures, there's that negative association to something that's different,
Mm,
something that's unusual. And I guess when a child has stimming behaviors and isn't social, they start to question, that's a bit odd, that's not normal. And naturally they distance
mm-hmm.
themselves. But what
Why they
working in this industry, yeah,
ignore.
why are they doing that? You should
Mm,
discipline your child. And it's
mm,
not about discipline, it's about awareness and understanding,
mm.
particularly when a child is overly stimulated. We need to support and create an environment for them to help them deregulate and connect better. And it all comes back down to
Right.
education and awareness.
That's right. And
Mm,
that's all I'm doing. And I tell everyone, if you don't know what autism is, ask. Research if you don't want to ask.
mm,
Find out what
mm,
it is. That's how you can help me and other parents. Because
mm,
it's not fair when someone says, oh, your child's not normal, or what's this? Why is he doing this for? Stop him. Tell him not to do it. He's going to do it all his life. But I say, no, I'm not going to stop him or scream at him. He's trying to regulate. That's his
Mm.
way of regulating. You can't stop that. That's not fair. Um, Sorry.
Yeah, it's a no, of course. And it's that in itself where you've said, stop him. But when you do stop him, they don't understand the repercussions of
No,
that because they don't understand that
no.
this is what they need to help them regulate. And it's so important that people are aware that these, you are describing this as a one stimming behavior, but other children have other stimming behaviors that they're not aware of.
Yes, that's
Mm,
right. Yeah, you're
mm,
right.
mm, mm. I guess that this is where, thank you for coming on Wine with Wita, to raise the awareness and to show people it's hard, it's exhausting, and it's taxing emotionally on your relationships with people too. But we know that there's gorgeous people out there who are willing to help you and to help your children thrive. So talk to me through the services that you've accessed for both your sons and the pros and cons of your journey with those.
So they both have an NDIS plan.
Mhm.
They're currently doing speech therapy, OT. They also have started a new therapy called neurofeedback.
Mhm.
It's been a few weeks. It's once per week. It's just trying to regulate your nervous system
How did you
with
find that?
um, through their school. So one of the students in my son's class attends neurofeedback therapy. Been doing it for a while, and she recommended it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what it was. So
Mm.
we've been trying that for, I think they've had 9 or 10 sessions now. Um, I've seen some pros and cons. Um, Alexander's speech has come a long way. Um, AJ's stimming has gone down a bit. I would say he's not stimming as much.
So it's
Um,
reduced a bit.
it
Mm.
has reduced, but like they say with so many therapies, they need to get worse to get better. So AJ
Mm.
has
Understand.
regret
Mm.
a bit in the past few weeks with his actions. Um, but I'll keep doing it. We'll see how we go. I mean, if it doesn't work for him, at least I tried and I'll stop it.
Mm.
And at the moment, I'm just trying natural products as well. There's so
Mm.
many that I haven't heard of, which I'm looking into now. So
I
I'm
love that you're so open to trying things because as a mum myself, I don't want to be stuck in one particular path with intervention. It's about what is the best approach for my child individually. And as you said there, what works for Alex might not work for AJ,
mm-hmm.
but finding the best intervention that works for that child on its own. Talk to me through this. Is it neurofeedback? What was it called?
Neurofeedback therapy.
And what
They
does it involve? And they're in
um,
Casula. Okay.
so they sit down. I think it's a half an hour session. So they sit in front of a computer and they can watch a movie, and they've got all those gadgets on their heads and clipped to their ears. So it's just trying to regulate their nervous system.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand, which then helps with their sensory overload and
Yes,
so forth. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So
And who and
yep. Sorry.
no, no, you can keep going. I just cut you off. Yeah. I'm still getting
So
used to this stuff.
for a child, and it might not work for another. That's why it's called a spectrum. They're all different. I feel like it's working more for Alexander, maybe because he's not as severe as AJ,
Mm.
but we'll see how he goes in the next few
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Now, you said so Alex is verbal. He uses words and he
Yes.
speaks he gets his needs and wants met to
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
How about AJ? How does he express his needs and wants to you?
He's non-verbal. I might hear
Mhm.
one word here and there, like once in a blue moon. He might say one word and then I don't hear it.
Mm.
So non-verbal, I would
Yeah.
say. And he will put hand over hand. He might walk me to where he wants to go or what he wants. He might point with my hand and his hand. So that's how he communicates. Or he might just give me the product that he wants so I can open it.
Mm, mm. Are you using any AAC devices or picture
Um,
exchanges to help him?
he's currently using the PECs, the
Mm,
visuals in the
mhm.
PEC folder. His speech therapist did try the ACC. Is
Yeah,
it the ACC?
ACC, yeah, Prolo to go or another program. Yeah.
He's not into it at the moment. I
Mm,
know it takes time. His teacher did show me this morning,
mm,
and it's quite tricky to understand. There's just so many folders, so you can't
there
just
are.
make in two
No.
seconds. You might click on I want, then you have to go to a specific folder and choose what you want. So there's a folder for everything. So
Mm,
um, hopefully he gets the hang of it with this teacher as well, and he can use it. But at the moment, he's using the PEX folder at school,
mm,
and I have tried it at home a few times. It is challenging because they're visuals,
mm.
and when you're at home, I'll be honest, and I've got 4 kids. You have to cook, you have to clean, and you've got so many things to do. I don't have the time to sit there and just open the folder.
Get that. Yeah, I get that. So I was about, my next question was the reality of speech therapy. You go to your appointment, we show you how to use the devices or the picture exchange. But
Mm,
as I said to you when we met, the concept of generalization, using what we teach you in the session in your home environment is the biggest challenge, because you're right, there are too many things that parents need to do that it's
mm,
sometimes just easier to go with your familiarity with AJ leading you to an item.
yeah,
But it's about picking a certain moment in your day or in your routine where you can use the PEX book to help him communicate
yes.
effectively in that moment. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. We definitely use it all the time.
Mm.
Um, we do get our challenges sometimes because he's impatient. And by the
He's
time I
hungry.
open the book, he's like, no, just take my hand. Here you go. Get it for
Yeah.
me. It's done. He's set. He's happy. So it
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, every
Thank you for
time.
expressing that, because
Yeah.
it's communication happens not only in the session, it's the outside world where we have to really consider the pros and cons and help parents manage um, how they can implement the strategies effectively. So there's more consistency and more opportunities for them to communicate rather than avoiding it all the time.
That's right.
Mm, mm. So talk to me through, obviously, overall as a family unit, the daily challenges that you face with raising 2 children that are autistic, and how do you like, manage that?
Um, at the end of the day, we have to keep going.
Yeah.
I can't give up. This is my
Mm,
life. These are my babies. I have to nurture them. I have to look after them. I will do anything for them. So I've just got, it's always, and I've got my faith. So I don't have to think about it. I just keep going. I'm exhausted by the end of the day, but this is life. You
mm,
could sit there and cry and be miserable and negative, but what are you going to achieve out of it? So I just
yeah.
try to be as positive as I can. And I am blessed that my older 2 sons, Michael and Patrick, they're 11 and 10 years old. They're my true blessings. They help so much with me and their brothers.
How do they cope with having 2 younger siblings that are autistic?
They have their challenges. Some days are hard. Some days, I mean, they're fine. They don't say anything. Um, but it is challenging for them as well because, I mean, they do miss out on going some places because of their brothers. Well, I would say AJ more.
Mm,
Um, but at the end of the day, they love their brothers so much. I don't even have to ask them to help them. They're there for them all the time. So I'm so thankful for that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Mm.
That's really, really beautiful. How do you, I know you keep referring back to your faith and the fact that they're your babies, you're just going to work endlessly and advocate for them. Do you get any services to help you? Like, do you to access to support your mental health, but also your physical health, just to help achieve that somewhat balance?
I don't.
You
I mean,
don't?
the job I have is my faith, and when I pray, I guess I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I'm lucky that my husband understands it, and he's not in that denial, because I know a lot of fathers are, and they
Mm.
can't, they don't understand it. So I'm blessed that my husband gets it, he understands it, and he's such a good help for me. He's always helping with the kids. So he's my help.
He's your help. He
He
takes the load off. Yeah.
he
Or he
does.
reduces the load. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he sees that I'm exhausted, he's like, "Don't worry, I'll do it.
Mm,
Or let's do
that's
it together."
beautiful.
Or yeah, I'm so thankful that he gets it and he's accepted it, because I can't imagine if my partner didn't accept it or understand, that would be so hard.
Mm.
Mm.
Absolutely. Now, with your NDIS case manager, can they offer any services for you to get support individually?
I'm
Have
not
they
sure.
suggested?
I,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
maybe something to look into to help you out too.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about that moment where the nation, I think even the globe, was captivated by AJ's story. And to me, it was in lockdown, so it was the only thing that kept me going, which is with like excitement. But just to follow the story of AJ, not only made me feel proud as a speech pathologist to raise awareness of autism, but to really show the importance of family, community, belonging, and really working together and seeing certain characteristics as well. We need to, of it with autism, we need to raise awareness to that too. So, talk to me through your time. Is it Putney? Where did you go?
It's in my farm's in Paddy.
Putney,
It's
yeah.
it's an hour just past Windsor.
So you stayed there in lockdown,
Yes.
because it's a family property. Talk to me on what happened on the day. What was happening?
It was a normal day for us. I had a good routine there. We would wake up, have breakfast, homeschool them. I bought monitors. I had my laptop. I ordered a desk and everything. I was set to go with the homeschooling, which was set up in my room. So every morning we would do their learning. They would go on Zoom, do their homework, go downstairs, have breakfast, and then they would just play for the whole day. So that's what happened. We finished their homework, came downstairs, they had breakfast, and then they went out on their dirt bikes and their buggies as they do. And I was just in the kitchen organising lunch, just tidying up a bit while AJ was playing with his brothers. So it was normal to him. It was the same routine from, I was there from July.
Yeah, it was July till I think October, September. Yeah.
So it wasn't new to him. And then probably 10, 15 minutes later, I just said, "Oh, where's AJ?" I thought, "Oh, he's inside, or he's just on the porch playing," as he does. He doesn't wander off, never has. And then I couldn't find him. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me through that moment. What did you do? Did you start looking all around? Did you ask the boys to participate, or did you know where he would be?
Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting
Oh.
so emotional. I
No.
talk all the time, and
We've
I
spoken
really
about this
don't.
all the time.
I know, I
We
cry.
spoke about that's okay. We're happy to pause and continue when you're ready.
Um, so I got in my car. His brothers got on their dirt bikes. Anthony, my husband, got on one of the bikes, just drove around all around the farm. I thought he's 3 years old. He can't go far. He can't climb. Um, where's he going to be? He's probably just down the driveway.
Mm.
And I looked everywhere and I couldn't find him. And I just thought, where could he be? He can't run fast. But we looked everywhere. It was like just click of fingers and he was invincible. He was just gone.
And then obviously there's a team, your children, your husband are looking at. What point did you say, okay, he's missing, he eloped? And for those that are listening, eloped means when a child that's autistic wanders off without awareness. And I guess you discussed this on Jolene's podcast recently, or not podcast, but an interview with her. At what point did you think, okay, we need to get additional help to start looking for AJ?
Um, it didn't take long to say that we need help, call the police and the SES because I drove everywhere.
Mm.
And I thought, I can't leave it any longer. I need the help. And that's what we did.
So the police came, SES came, and it was like all hands on deck. Let's start looking. And how long did and obviously your family came up too. How long did the search go for? Was
So
it 3
he
days, I think?
Friday, and then we found him the Monday morning.
Yeah, yeah. And so we all know that he was found really, really close to the home property. At what point, and you mentioned this on Charlie Baker's podcast, where you knew he was okay. You knew he'll be found. What helped you through that, and what signs did you look out for?
Just my faith.
Yeah. Talk me
My
through that. What
kept
did
me
you
going.
do?
And I was just praying every day. We would pray as a family. I even had the police. I taught the police how to pray the rosary, and they were
Mm,
praying with us, which was amazing. And I just had that gut feeling, just in my heart. I knew that he was okay, and I guess God gave me that strength
yeah.
to keep going,
Mhm.
and that's how I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they found him near the lake or the creek. And when we met for that lunch not long ago, you said that AJ hated water.
Mm.
He hated water. He hates having showers. He doesn't like swimming. And the fact that he was found near the creek, what was in your mind just then? Like, how can this child hate showers and have all these behaviors associated with water, but then found freely
I
playing and drinking from a creek?
once I got back home from the hospital and I got to sit down, and just, everything was just all over the place. And I said, oh my God, how was he sitting in the creek? To give him a bath was so challenging.
Yeah.
He needed a shower. You don't understand. It was a challenge every night. If I got just a drop of water on his head, he would go ballistic. He couldn't
Mm.
handle it. I felt so bad for him, but I had to shower him every night. But it
Yeah.
was a challenge. He hated water. It was the quickest shower every night. He hated it. And then to see
I
him,
just
he was just sitting there, just not fazed by anything. And then the SES taps him and he looks at him like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm just sitting in water. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, what a miracle, but how amazing. And I was confused. I thought, oh my God, since when did you like water, AJ?
exactly. It's like, you little punk.
Yeah,
I can't give you a shower, but you're sitting there next to the creek.
I know. Yeah. Oh, well,
So let's talk about the feelings. And I think even myself, I cried when we heard that he was found. What was that feeling like for you when they messaged you or called you and said, we found him? What was that? What was that like for you?
that adrenaline just stopped and I collapsed and I thought, oh my God, I could breathe again. You
Yeah.
don't understand how I felt those few days. It was torture. It was so
Mm.
hard and I had to be strong, not only for myself, but for my family, for my other kids
Mm.
as well. I didn't want them to see me breaking.
Yeah.
Then once they said we found him, I just collapsed, just in tears of happiness. I just,
Mm.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I knew I would find him, but I couldn't believe it at the same time. And I could just breathe again.
Yeah.
I can't explain that moment.
Can't explain it. No parent can explain that feeling,
No,
and it's like you've gone from feeling of fear, like the ultimate worry that you've lost your child, to then finding that he is completely fine. Like there was a few ant bites that you said on his face,
he had antibiotics.
and a little bit of dehydration.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
his. He had a very bad nappy rash.
Yeah.
That was bad, and just a few scratches on his neck, and that's it. So it was my miracle.
Yeah.
It was a miracle.
And you mentioned something that the hospital staff were really concerned about him and say, okay, brace for some failure of, say, the kidney or other organs. And then once they did the test, you explain. You can
Yeah.
explain what you said to me.
So the the doctors and the pediatrician there, they said to me, "This is going to take time. We have to run a number of tests. His kidneys, his organs might be shutting down because he hasn't had proper water or food in a few days." And that broke me. I freaked out. I thought, "Oh my God,
Mm.
next." But then I kept on praying. And then after the first blood test, the doctor came back in and he was like, "This is a miracle." And I said, "Oh my God, is everything okay?" And he said, "He's fine." He said, "We don't need to run any more tests. The first test showed that everything was fine, just a bit dehydrated. Just keep up with his fluids, but he's good to go home."
Amazing. What a miracle. What a true miracle.
Yeah.
What a true miracle. Now, when we met, you said something which I found incredibly beautiful. You said his diagnosis of autism saved him.
It
Talk
definitely
more.
did.
Talk to me about that.
It did. Just seeing him in the creek, just drinking that water, just unfazed. He wasn't crying or anything. He just sat there like he was playing. And then for the SES volunteer Bluey to pick him up, he turned around, looked at him like, "What are you doing here?" Like, "I'm just playing." Like he wasn't phased. So his autism definitely helped him.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think he just
The
thought,
reduced fear. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, reduce his fear. He looked like he wasn't scared. He was just playing.
Mm.
Mm,
What a beautiful way to reframe your mind about the whole situation, that it was a nightmare to
mm.
then to be recognized as such a miracle, and the strength of his diagnosis too. Now, talk to me through with how that experience changed you, but also with the whole autism journey that you had.
It made me a lot closer to my faith, as I've said so many times,
Mhm.
and which is such a blessing for me. And it made me realize that um, it's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. He's got this diagnosis, but it doesn't matter. And it showed me, look, it helped your son survive. He's fearless. Keep going. It's not the end of the world, like I said.
Yeah.
Do what I can to help him, and with God by my side, things will be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful testament. That's beautiful. Thanks,
Thank,
Kelly.
thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Now, before we wrap up, I always ask the guests, if you were to pick one word for the day to make a better version of yourself, what would you tell yourself tomorrow?
Warrior.
Like that one. That's a good one. I haven't
Uh,
had that before. Talk to me why you picked that word.
After what happened to AJ, it made me strong on so many levels, in so many ways. And I've been a warrior since. Um, it's just made me so much stronger. I'm a fighter now. Um, um, just if I want something or want to achieve it, just keep going. I don't back down. I'm not shy. I'm just a lot stronger. I'm that
I love
warrior.
that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that word. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that word. You were always a warrior, but you needed this experience to shape you and to realize
Yeah.
your true potential of what you, but any parent, especially those that have special needs children, are true warriors because
And we
you're given this strength that you've never knew you had to
mhm.
get you through your daily challenges and situations that other parents don't even face. So thank you, Kelly. That was gorgeous. Thank you very much. Is there anything that you would like to tell parents that are going through the initial phase of an autism diagnosis or a disability diagnosis? What could you tell them from your experiences?
Don't be ashamed. Um, I know that denial process is hard, but if you see those signs, don't wait. Get your diagnosis, work on them as soon as you can, and you're a warrior. Just keep going. God gave you this extra gift that you have to nurture,
Mhm.
and you're doing the best that you can, and just keep fighting. You could do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous. Every parent is a true warrior. And yes, I agree. Every day, tackle your battles and find the strength within to keep you going and access the information and meet people, and you'll meet people along the way that will guide you in the best way possible. Yeah.
Do your research. Just read everything that you can. Um, Make sure that you have a good unit around you because you need that. You need the support and the positivity. That's the most important thing because they will just lift you. That will just make you stronger than ever.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time this morning, Kelly, and for having a wine with Wita to really sharing your really true and raw story of your children's diagnosis, but also the nightmare that you live, but is now a miracle. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
And I wish you all the best with all the services that you access and on this beautiful journey that you have with your family.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a gorgeous day. Take care.
Yeah.